Good morning. The scrap busting little tutorial I'm doing today involves making these little pocket style tucks out of scrap pieces of card. Now these are double-sided pieces of card. If you had patterned card that was plain on one side, that would be totally fine to use as well, and then you could either just leave it plain as a statement piece, or you could have it plain on the bottom and have it patterned at the top as your statement piece. These are really easy to make. And to put in a journal, you literally just get your glue, do a little bead around there, pop it in, and then you've got a tuck space. Okay, very, very easy to make too. Also with this one, as you can see, I machine sewed this. Now you can machine sew down that if you want, but I've left that unsewn. So what I did with this was I just sewed down that piece, then I folded it over and sewed down there, there, there. So there's an additional tuck spot if you fancied using that. But we'll move on to this one now. So here's my piece of card that I'm going to use. So I don't really have an exact measurement for this. So if I just go by that and I fold that over. Now, as you can see, I've done corners on both of these, and I've just done a round edge there and left that straight. So this one, I'm also going to do, I think, some corners, and that's very easy to do. You need a ruler of some description, roughly measure where the halfway point is, and I'm going to make it a centimetre deep and a centimetre deep. Now bear in mind that this is the side you're going to stick down, so no one is going to see what you've done here. So it doesn't matter if you wanted to eyeball it and just cut point to point, you could. But I'm just quickly going to do that just so I've got something to cut with. And no, I didn't have my scissors handy. Naughty, naughty me. Obviously not prepped enough. So there you've got your little pocket. Now it could be at that point that you think, oh, I think that pocket should be narrower, or is it, we're talking about depth, but not as long. So then you could always just cut it off again and do your corners again. Now, if you want to do corners at the top, again, measure roughly to the middle. But with this one, I don't know if you can see, but I didn't want the corners to be exactly mimicking. So that one's a milder corner, that one's sharper. So with this, rather than, I think I measured a centimetre for the other, I'll just do half a centimetre. This time I'm just going to literally eyeball it. Okay, so there you have it. Now this one, I do want this one to be stuck down because I'm not going to be doing making this one into an additional tuck. This is just high-tack glue from, I think, Hobbycraft, but you could use it's going to take ages to come out now, isn't it? But Sherman just about to invade the space. Hello, Sherman. But you could also use things like Yoo-Hoo or glue stick. I think the only glue that I've used that I really would recommend against is Pritt Stick, and I've used far too much and made it a bit messy. Sorry. Performance issues on tape. Now, with this one I used a sewing machine. With this one I didn't use anything. But if you don't have a sewing machine but you want to get the stitch thing, just take a pen of some kind. Now I've decided not to use black. The reason being, I think black would be quite harsh against this because there's really not that much black. There's a little bit of black there, but I want a different colour. And I just want it here on the pocket rather than on the whole thing. And I tried this pen on a scrap piece of card just to make sure it would work because it's a gel pen, but if you've got a Sharpie or something, you could use that. Now I've got an awful lot of buttons to use up, so I'm also going to use a button on here. And these are all circles, but I decided I wanted the contrast of a little square button there. And again, out comes the tacky glue. Learning from my one less there, let's use a little bit less. But this is such an easy little thing to do, and again, uses up a bit of that lovely colourful card scrap that an awful lot of us have got. And I drop it messily. Now obviously, if you're doing this, don't worry if the glue comes out the holes. It's going to, because it's got nowhere else to go. But there you go. So there you've got a really simple, colourful little tuck. You've used up a bit of scrap, and it'll take you only a couple of minutes, and you can batch make these. So if you've got a load of really pretty colourful card that you want to use, you can make a load of different pockets. I mean, if you want to have an idea of different pocket styles, you can go somewhere like Pinterest and just, I think I typed in something like pockets or closed pockets or something, and you can get lots of different styles, lots of different ideas. But this is just a really nice, quick, easy way of using up some patterned card and making some really colourful, fun tucks. And if you've got vintage card, some people don't really like using a lot of colour, so if you've got vintage card, again, you can make pockets out of more muted vintagey colours. I hope this has been useful for you and inspired you to bust a bit more of the scrap you have.